God the Father has reserved authority over the times and seasons of human history. The ebb and flow of the tide of world events is not simply a matter of chance. The rise and fall of great powers is not just determined by human decisions. Rather, God established limits for the rules of various nations. The limits include both length of time and world stage and exit of their geographic dominance. Though God the Father has determined the nation's roles in advance, how can we possibly understand unless He chooses to reveal them? It was preciously at the end of the first century that the Father did just that. He gave Jesus Christ an unveiling of what had previously been hidden, that Christ in turn would reveal to the church. Christ did this by sending an angel to the aged apostle in Patmos. Through a series of visions at the end of an era, John was allowed to see the future and to record it in advance. The book of Revelation is an unveiling. The English word revelation comes from the Greek word we also render apocalypse, literally meaning the revealing or an unveiling, while the future is veiled and mysterious to human beings. It is plain to God, and tries in vain to look through the mists of time to perceive the future might bring. But while man can only guess, the great God who inhabits eternity is able to declare from the very beginning what the end will be. As an elderly man, an exile in Patmos, John had the most remarkable experience of his long life. In a vision, he saw himself transported into the future to the time of God's impending intervention in judgment, which the Old Testament calls the day of the Lord. Hearing a powerful voice behind him, John turned to gaze upon 7 golden lampstands. Then saw one who faced as shone like the sun of its full strength standing in the midst of those lampstands. Absolutely overwhelmed by what he saw, John collapsed in a faint. The one he saw standing there was the very one with whom he walked and talked as a young man, the one beside whom he had sat and upon whom he had leaned at their last Passover meal together. John had last seen about 65 years earlier, when he stood with the other disciples on the Mount of Olives, gazing up and watching him disappear into the clouds as John lay collapsed. The one reached down and touched him. Christ went to reveal himself to John as the one who is the first and the last, the one who was dead but is now alive forevermore. John was told to write down what he had seen and what would yet be shown to him. This final book in your testament then is Jesus Christ, unveiling of the future, your future. It is a book written as Christ's final message to his church, showing what will happen. Though most people have considered it a mysterious and closed book, it can now be open to your understandings. If you really want to know what lies ahead, then keep reading.